Well, so I think if that's it, let's go to open discussion then. Yeah, so that'll make it official. We'll go to open discussion. And so, yeah, you guys don't need to raise your hands for questions. Just anybody who wants to talk, jump in. Try not to, try not to step on each other's toes.
Well, Tim, you hit a home run by picking John Hutchison Effect. That's a great way to open
Well,
the
thank
year.
you. You know, I was really nervous though, and the reason is, I don't know nearly as much about it as George does. So when George appeared, I got really excited because I was like, oh my God. I mean, he worked with John closely for years. He was there at the beginning, For me, I came in much later, and I didn't realize how much psychological stuff was involved with that. So that helps put that in context, I think,
Well, in a way, that also brings, what Sarfati was talking about, how CIA was interested in consciousness and the effect of consciousness controlling matter in the universe, something the military wanted. And so here is a wonderful connection. I didn't know about it myself. Now I know a lot more. So
Yeah.
that would be great if you bring that guy back, and Sarfati maybe comment, expand on that. I mean, are they both connected? Do they collaborate with each other, Sarfati and him and George?
No, they don't. I mean, they all know each other. But to my knowledge, they don't really collaborate. John is very much a tinkerer, and Jack is very much a physicist. So they're just on different ends of the spectrum. It's probably, it's difficult for them to communicate. I mean, George would probably be the best median, and I know he speaks to Jack. I know that they know each other, but with John, I know that they've spoken, but they speak different languages. I think that's the challenge.
Okay, well, that's good, but you hit a home run, and that's good. I hope the rest of the year is going to be this good.
Yeah, well, we're working on it. And I know Mark and his group are working really heavily on stuff too. So we have a lot going on.
I hope that this year Mark has a lot of good stuff, because with all those toys that he's been assembling, very soon he's going to start making experiments and producing results. So we'll all be looking forward to that.
Yeah. No, it'll be exciting. Yeah.
Tim, did you already have the episode with Bob Greenyer on, or is that yet to come?
No, that's up. Actually, if you go to the altpropulsion.com website, I think it's two conference sessions back.
I missed it while I was out moving my grandma in BC.
Yeah, but, no, it's up. And so I've also changed the way I do the videos a little bit. Which is kind of good and bad. I used to have that playlist feature, right, where you could select which one you wanted from the playlist. And what I'm doing now is I create those playlists. They're still up on the old AAG website. But the big difference is I'm rendering our APEC videos in 4K. The actual Zoom file saves at around 3K. So it's in between, right? It's in between HD and 4K. I'm up rendering to 4K. And then I'm putting in chapter markers. The only downside is when I put those on YouTube, it takes about 5 days for it to render them. So I still use the playlist for the first couple of days and then swap them out.
Would you be interested as well, as I get going with my 24-hour streams and whatnot that I'm going to be doing APEC on me helping you upload your stream to APEC itself, so you can go live with this, and then as well later how you edit it and then re-upload it on. Would you be interested in doing that?
Potentially. I would say just email me and I'll figure out what we're doing there. So
yeah, I got this thing I found on Hutchison Effect on a skeptics, someone who's skeptical about it, and it's here, I'm going to read this thing. Hutchison has been profiled on the Discovery Channel, the Learning Channel, National Geographic Channel, Is It Real, and Nippon Television. He's also featured and discussed in various fringe science newsletters and websites. There is even a website devoted to his various hoaxes. Of course, some people take Hutchison seriously. For example, Mel Winfield, who I don't know who that is.
Yeah, and Mel Winfield did the nucleonic research. So Mel Winfield had kind of an alternative explanation. Mel knew John.
I'm going to read. He claims that he came up with the Hutchison effect first. Its proper name is nucleonic energy. According to Wikipedia, nucleonic energy is a technology concept developed by Canadian autodidact and inventor.
Autodidact, yeah.
It's an energy obtained from the momentum of nucleons, protons, and neutrons within an atomic nucleus. Whereas gravity dictates the spin axis of nucleons are oriented towards the center of the Earth, nucleonic energy allows for the axis to be reversed or directed in any desired direction in order to produce all forms of motion.
I'm not even sure if Mel Winfield, let me look him up. I'm not even sure if he is still alive.
Allows the Magnus effect to take effect on the nucleon, presumably cause levitation. So, the Magnus effect is, hold on.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the Magnus effect. That's the spinning ball that creates the low pressure over it.
Yeah, exactly. It has to do with the motion of a spinning object in a fluid.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, with Mel, there maybe possibly. To be honest, though, when it comes to Hutchison, I would say the absolute best qualified person to speak on it is George, hands down. George probably knows more about it. In fact, George definitely knows more about it than John does.
Well, I just think it's cool that we look at all perspectives when it comes to something like this, and there might be a grain of truth there, like you say, Tim.
I can tell you, I don't have any answers. In terms of those material samples, what I've always felt was that it's valence electrons, and it's just bumping them out of their orbitals, right? And it's resonant frequencies bumping them out of their orbitals. That part of it, I feel like, okay, that explanation kind of seems like it holds water. But the rest of it, especially the levitation and the other effects that he's had, I couldn't even begin to speculate.
What I think is going on, what I'm kind of concerned about is, and I actually have most people don't realize that non-ionizing radiation is dangerous too. I mean, when we think of radioactive substances and neutrons and protons and alpha, gamma, and beta radiation, non-ionizing radiation is harmful too. In fact, that's what your microwave uses, is a non-ionizing radiation to heat your food. But there's a lot of research that has shown that low levels of non-ionizing radiation can be harmful to living things. And basically, I have some close friend who died of blood cancer, and he was a ham radio operator, and he spent his many years sitting in front of his radio transmitter. And, there's long-term effects of exposure to this stuff that people don't take into consideration. And as I was in my work, I was always scared the shit out of me. I would do whatever, even if the first thing you learn in precautionary principle or risk assessment is called avoidance. You'll avoid the risk. And so a lot of my friends, though, they were more laissez-faire about it, and it caught up with them later. And so I think there's a lot of problems with when you're working in this kind of field with exposing yourself to stuff that can be harmful. And I think it's good for us to reflect on that when we're discussing this. It's kind of like when Ron Keto was talking about his experiments and using benzene rings, that kind of stuff scares the hell out of me. That's just how.
Well, Michael, have you ever looked up what you were talking about with the ham radio operator? Have you ever looked up cell phone exposures?
Yeah, actually I have. And I actually, I have this group called, that I'm a nonprofit. It's called Californians for Renewable Energy, Inc. My purpose of our group is to sue the government over energy projects. And I've sued the EPA one, and I've sued a bunch of different government agencies. That's my hobby, suing the government. And so, but what I learned, we sponsored this group called StopSmartMeters.inc, which is stopsmartmeters.org. And basically what brought it to my attention was when they started forcing people to get these wireless smart meters installed in their house. And I noticed, I looked at the one, I live in PG&E territory, and PG&E was making this meter, and I noticed it didn't you have a UL mark on it. So being a compliance guy in the industry, that kind of shocked me. And then I learned that this thing was hitting. It depended on where you had it. It was like over a watt of this RF. And so the thing is, that's what brought it to my attention. Then there were all these people. These people were getting sick. They put them in, and they actually have this. They actually have this physiological effect called electrosensitivity, where people that get exposed, they can't be in a radiation area, so they'll go to where they have the radio telescopes. That's where they'll move, because the radio telescopes are in zero Wi-Fi regions. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of we don't know. And that's the part that scares me the most, is what we don't know. We can see these wonderful things, new discoveries, but what's the risks involved?
Yeah, no, it's a good point. It's a good point. And with the cell phones, I've seen pros and cons, right? And that's the problem. You've got people who are like, nah, it's not a problem, but there were other issues too, if I remember right. One of them was,
like, I forget what they call the tumor, but you get I have a friend, her son spent when he was young, in his teens, he would spend his hours and hours on his cell phone. And actually some of those cell phones, those 900 megahertz cell phones, were less safe than the 2.5 gigahertz ones are for some reason. And so he developed a brain tumor.
Well, but then the other issue is, even if you're not on the phone, and this is one of the reports I'd read, even if you're not using the phone, it wakes up and connects to the network periodically. And when the modem wakes up, it connects at full power before it drops back down. So you're getting pulsed repeatedly.
Who is it? Snowden talked about it and said, basically you need to turn your phone off, because you're getting monitored. Whenever your phone's on, you're being monitored.
You're saying I should sleep with my cell phone under my pillow, yes?
Huh?
Yeah. Well, no, Bernie, I would put, actually that was the problem. The problem was it was people who physically kept their phone on them, and they didn't realize that even if they're not using it, they're still getting pulsed because it's waking up, right? It's got to do what, periodically it wakes up, connects to the network, it checks for new messages. And what they were saying was, I don't remember what brand it was, I don't remember the details, but what they said was, when the phone wakes up, it comes on at full power, it does a network connect, and then it drops back down. So they said, if you've got this on you all day, you're getting these pulses over and over and over again. If it's under your pillow at night, every 12 seconds or something like that, whenever it does this.
Yeah, that's why I stopped carrying my cell phone in my pocket.
A centimeter away. You're not supposed to get close. It's not supposed to be touching you. If you read the instructions, the safety thing on it, it's not directly. You don't put it to your ear. You're supposed to hold it about an inch away for it to be safe.
Yeah.
You gotta talk like way away from it. There's the speakerphone, and then the Bluetooth. But then Bluetooth, is that just as bad? Even more waves going into you? Like,
the other thing you can do, what I did when I was a Lyft driver, is I had a headset like you have there, and I'd plug the jack into, with just one ear headset, and that way I could shield myself. And then there was still some of the RFs gets transmitted down the wire, so you have to put a little put a little choke. It's called. It's a a graphite, it's a graphite circle that goes around it, and that chokes off the RF. That I had to go through all that just so I wasn't getting exposed all the time to that RFR. But they don't tell you about any of that.
Yeah.
Michael, you don't recommend using one of these brain enhancers that put
There
magnetic
you go.
fields in your brain?
No, actually, that's a different effect, sir, because that's using alpha. There's a different
That's the
beta
good waves.
Yes,
it's
7.8 hertz. Yeah.
frequency
Yeah.
of the RF, the radio frequency is high frequency, while
Right.
what you're using there is a low frequency device. And it's
Right.
actually therapeutic.
Oh, okay.
Son is
Okay.
used it. It's very helpful. My son has went through a treatment program doing just what you're showing me, and it helped him immensely. So
Oh, great. Great.
don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what the cell phone company is trying to sell you.
Yeah. Well, guys, let me, I'm going to step away for a few minutes. I'm going to leave it running. So it's up on the machine, but
Yeah, I got to go. My wife's already lost patience with
Tim,
me.
is it open forum? Can I ask any
yeah,
questions?
no, I would say, yeah,
Absolutely.
it's open
Steve?
discussion. I'm going to step away. I
Great.
got to actually start making dinner.
I have a
So,
question for you before you go. If you
oh,
wanna
okay.
take it.
Okay.
Thank you.
The Finnish researcher, Podlikov, or whatever his name is, has he had any of his new inventions or new devices replicated anywhere? I'm very interested in that guy.
Claude Power in France, I believe, is the closest, and he has his own theory about why it works. And so, everybody kind of changes it to suit themselves, right? I see Jeremy smiling in the camera there. Jeremy, do you have some Claude Power or Poglanov ideas? Wait, that was a
Your
big
mic-
smile.
your
He had a
mic
big
is off,
guilty
Jeremy.
smile, and now he's being shy.
Jeremy, your mic is off.
I saw a flash.
Oh, okay. Well, Jeremy, do you
There we
have?
go. Now he's unmuted. COVID,
Yeah,
are you still
I just saw
alive
this
with us?
big smile. I'm like, he's got something.
He's clearly not dying.
No, someone was taking my picture and there was a flash in the background. You didn't see.
Oh,
I
okay.
saw the flash. I did notice.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And then it took me
No,
a
that's
while to
okay.
unmic all my mics, unmute all the mics. So
Well, yeah. So for me, I would say Poglanov. I haven't spoken with him in close to a year at this point. Oh, yeah, they are taking your photo because you're a celebrity, man. That's why. Oh, and you have a guitar too. Yeah. So you're a celebrity and you know it. That's the worst part.
Documenting his survival.
But it's an acoustic guitar. That's a, it's kind of, that's like the soft look for the holidays, right? So, okay.
Jeremy, you gotta
So the
serenade us
French guy
now.
is
I'm
online.
I'll be back
Come
in a bit,
with the
guys.
guitar.
Tim, the
He's a
French guy-
very good singer.
I want to hear it.
Karaoke, like really is really he karaoke
Prove
is
you
good.
can still sing during COVID. Why are we on lockdown? He's fine. Oh, no guitar this time. Jeremy, you gotta unmute yourself, brother.
I wish I had like an amp or something I could plug into and just turn it on, but I don't. That's why I have the acoustic going here. But yeah, I didn't mean to steal the show. I wanted to talk about Claude. I was interested in talking about Claude Poher and Podkletnov and play some Bad Brains.
You're a science experiment of the week. You're surviving. You're proving why are we all locked down?
Not dead yet. So 6.5 hours in, guys. So I don't know. What's on the agenda now? You want me to start just jamming up on the guitar?
You gotta sing us a New Year's song.
All right. Let me think. What can we do?
I survived the bioweapon 2022.
I used to dream impossible dreams till I woke up one day and I realized my dreams were dead, replaced instead with a lifetime of failures and of compromise. Oh, but I see things that aren't real. Was it a super virus to kill all of humankind? No, is it a super virus to kill all of humankind from just a strain that another psychopath designed? Oh, but I lie awake. I lie awake. I sit here in the atmosphere and dream of my escape. Discover anti-gravity in a craft that levitates before I die here on this planet of the apes. Oh, that's it, man. That's all I got. I can't remember all the words, but I actually should sit down and write like a whole bunch more verses to that one because it would be cool.
That was absolutely amazing, by the way. I loved it. Round of applause. Where's Jeremiah? He was in live chat. Does he have no purple?
Yeah, man. Let's have some hope for this new year. We're gonna try a lot of different models and try a lot of different ideas. Michael, thank you for that tip on the new search term, which is correlated materials, strongly correlated materials, and correlated electrons, correlated electron systems. Ton of papers that I am going to be up all night reading about after the conference, now that I have a new search term to look up. This is corrugated electron matter, electrodynamics of corrugated electron matter. I'm going to be diving into this literature.
So is that like
for sure.
metamaterials, like another term for metamaterials?
No, this is like, well, a superconductor would be an example, or perovskites and stuff it was saying, but this is like how you can energize, artificially energize different materials like metals and stuff, like Hutchison effect type effects. Possibly, right? Am I not,
you find.
Am I not completely off in this? So doped transitions in metal oxides, charge and spin ordered states and solids. I'm gonna have to read up on all this stuff and hopefully understand it a little better.
Oh yeah, and you're sharing on your stream, but not in the Zoom, just for everyone in the Zoom's reference.
Yeah. Tons and tons of awesome reading material there for sure. All right, I'm just going to end the stream there on that song, and we're going to we'll go to just private chat and hang out behind the scenes on the Zoom call. So
good call. Happy 2022, everybody.
Yeah, that was an epic APEC to start the year. I think I have more questions than answers from most of it, but yeah, like let's go into, I would love to see some more experimental replications. And what's up, no, like has anybody else replicated this technology? Jeremiah was saying that a German lab and also Russians were able to replicate some of this stuff. And I would like some more information on those studies and to know more about this. So for next time, yeah, I'm going to be studying how to unlock my mind powers and my psychic mind powers, so I can.
You gotta
bend
believe in
spoons.
quantum entanglement. The fundamental thing, like you have to believe in quantum entanglement.
That's the key. That's the
That's
key.
the
I have to
key.
start
There's no
bending
way,
spoons
like-
in no time. I can't wait.
Yeah. Did you end the live stream?
Yeah, it's over. Ending now.